Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. Apologize for my voice today. I'm still pretty sick, hoping to break a fever here soon. And so we're going to begin in Romans chapter 2, verse 17, read through 29, make some comments. Uh, Behold, thou art called a Jew, and restest in the law, and makest thy boast of God, and knowest his will, and approvest the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law, and art confident that thou art self a guide to the blind, a light to them which are in darkness, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which hast the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law. Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself? Thou that preachest a man should not steal, dost thou steal? Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery, dost thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, dost thou commit sacrilege? Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law dishonorest God, thou God? For the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written. For circumcision verily profiteth, if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision dost transgress the law? For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly. And the circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God. Now, here Paul shows that he's talking specifically to what we would call an unsaved Jew. First, he lays out how a Jew of that day would feel about themselves and their standing before God. They know his will, they have his law, they are confident they can teach the rest of us benighted savages a thing or two. They were just like a lot of fundamental Baptists or theologically liberal high church folks today, believing they had the proverbial all that in a bag of chips. Verse 21 brings us back to an accusation of self deception, though. The most righteous Jew or work salvation Christian believes that he or she is holy and righteous, but the fact remains, Ecclesiastes 7:20, for there is not a just man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not. Paul will reinforce this soon. The Jews of Paul's day claimed to be righteous, but were just as wicked as the Gentiles. In the same way, fundamentalist Baptists make a mockery of our faith in front of the world, with hundreds of pastors, youth pastors, and other workers charged criminally with sexual abuse in the United States. Many Baptists show nothing to the world but fear and or hypocrisy regarding their walk with God. These very things that Paul writes can be forwarded in time. And although I've heard a Baptist actually say he knew someone was a Christian by the fact that he kept his lawn nice and his car clean as part of the speaker's standard of righteousness, I've heard far more ridiculous things. It's foolish to say that we are justified by our righteousness when we violate God's standard of righteousness in thought and deed so often in a day's time. Paul relates how the Jew without Christ is a pure phony and would be better off not being circumcised than to violate God's law based on the testimony the Jew often expresses before the Gentiles. If you believe you are justified before God by your good nature and your good deeds and your good intent, you are of all people a sorry fool. As Paul next explains, though, he's not saying that being a Jew is meaningless or worthless. So he's gonna put a caveat on that. So what he said before. So let's pick it up in Romans chapter 3 next. Please read your Bible, study your Bible, cross-reference the verses, pray to God for wisdom and understanding, and then share your interpretation with someone else. Thank you.